Hey Siaya, Shehelalo Sidsta, Teri Gobin, Tulalip Tribal Chair. I would first of all like to give you a COVID update. We haven't had any positive cases since July 30th. And we're really happy that Boom City didn't have any cases coming forward from that time. And it's thanks to our community members who have practiced social distancing and wore their masks all this time. Please keep this up, as Snohomish County has still increased cases. And a lot of you that usually get your flu shots, I would recommend that you get that done, even though we still will be in this COVID pandemic. It will help and protect you from the flu, even though it doesn't work on COVID. We look forward to when they will have that vaccination so we can get back to normal. But everybody's doing their parts with their masks and the social distancing, and it's just continue. Please keep us safe. All tribal entities have passed a COVID quarantine leave that will help when people are waiting for test results or who have become positive, so that they could take the time off and be at home. And this will be funded through the CARES Act funding, so that those people do not come to work and affect other people. So we're really glad that the teams got together and passed this in a resolution at the last board meeting. Governor Inslee and I have signed the tax compact. We will start receiving 100% of the first $500,000 in taxes per year on a quarterly basis, and we'll start receiving that in September. We will also receive 100% of the B&O retail sales tax. When any of the new businesses are developed, at that time we'll start receiving 60% of that sales tax. On Tulalip tribally owned entities, we receive 100% of that sales tax. The difference between the tax case and the tax compact is, with the tax case, it only included Quilceda Village. We negotiated in the compact to include all tribally owned land and tribal member owned land within the boundaries of the reservation, and on tribally owned trust property outside the reservation. In negotiating the compact, the terms were shortened from 4 years to 2.5 years. So as of January 2022, we have the opportunity to receive the higher amount of tax for existing businesses at 50%. We will still be receiving the $500,000 per year for the first 4 years, so that will be an additional to that. Remember, previously we talked about we could receive additional tax funds if we site and permit and build a dual diagnosis treatment facility. It's a 48-bed unit. And so we were kind of surprised that they shortened the term from 4 years to 2.5 years. So if we do that in that time period, it will increase our tax that we're receiving from 25% on the existing businesses to 50%. We are currently weighing out our options and the pros and cons on where we will put this. If it's going to be on reservation or off reservation. Off reservation, we will get a lot of resistance in permitting and locating. On reservation, we could possibly utilize that to bring infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, and electrical to a site that we could add additional buildings in. We've even talked about what would be the opportunities for other buildings near there, maybe the MAT, the Medical Assistant Treatment Facility, which will generate a lot of income for the tribe. So we're still in the process of weighing out what is our best options. So none of this would have happened without having Governor Inslee and his help to assist us in getting this done. We've been working on this for many, many years, and having the right person in the right place to push it and to have his staff work with us was what made this come to a reality. All of the senators and the state representatives that we talked to were really excited and were very surprised that we accomplished this in the short 2-month period of the last state legislature. Once again, I would like to thank Governor Inslee and all of the elected officials and our past board members who've worked on this, and all of the staff that was involved that made this come to a reality. So another thing I'd like to talk about is how important it is to get the census done. This provides the information for the government to help assist with funding for tribal programs, and it's so extremely important that you're counted as a Native American and as Tulalip. So it's really easy. They have a quick tutorial that we're going to show you.
Welcome to the 2020 Census. This video will introduce you to the 2020 Census, present a quick overview of the online questionnaire, and help you answer the questions. The 2020 Census is a count of every person living in the United States. The census is required by the U.S. Constitution and takes place once every 10 years. The 2020 Census is very important. Your responses help to determine the number of seats each state has in Congress and guide how more than $675 billion in federal funding is spent in communities each year. The 2020 Census is easy. Completing these questions only takes about 10 minutes. You can respond online from a computer, tablet, or mobile phone 24 hours a day. You can also respond over the phone or using the paper questionnaire. If you respond, we may not need to send a Census Bureau interviewer to visit you. An interviewer may still visit if you respond late, if we have follow-up questions, or for other surveys. Your information is confidential. Federal law protects your responses. Your answers can only be used to produce statistics and cannot be used against you by any government agency or court. Now we will take you on a quick tour of the Internet questionnaire. Step-by-step instructions will be provided later in the video. When you visit my2020census.gov, you will log in using the Census ID from the materials that were mailed to you or left at your door. We will ask you to confirm your address and provide your name and phone number. Next, we will ask you to count how many people will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020. And list the name of each person who will be living or staying at your address. We will also remind you to include people that might have been missed. We will ask whether the home is owned or rented, and who owns or rents the home. We will ask each person about their sex, date of birth and age, Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and race. When there is more than one person at an address, we will ask how they are related to the reference person. Finally, we will ask whether anyone sometimes stays at another address. If you're ready to begin, go to my2020census.gov now. The online questionnaire is available in English and 12 non-English languages. To select a language, click on the globe icon and select the name of the language, or select the name of the language at the bottom of any screen. Don't worry if you are looking for a language that is not listed. This video will show a step-by-step demonstration. Keep watching. You will need to complete the 2020 census in one session. If you leave, you will have to start over. To begin, choose Start Questionnaire. First, enter your 12-digit Census ID. Your Census ID is on the materials that we mailed to your address or left at your door. If you do not have a Census ID, select the link below the login button and answer some additional questions about your address. You will still be able to respond. Then, confirm that you are completing the 2020 Census questionnaire for the address shown. Select Yes or No. If you will be staying at this address on April 1st, choose Yes. Otherwise, choose No. The next button takes you forward, and the previous button takes you back. Do not use the forward or back buttons on your browser, or else you may need to start over. Next, Enter your name and telephone number. Enter your full name in English letters. Sometimes a message may appear on the screen that asks you to check your response or enter additional information. Review what you entered before selecting the next button. Enter the number of people, including yourself, who will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020. Click on the underlined blue links for help with the questions. Make sure that you count people where they usually live and sleep. If someone does not have a usual residence, count them where they will be staying on April 1st. Include babies and children of all ages, close or extended family members, people who are not related to you, and people staying here without a permanent place to live. Do not include anyone who lives away from this address most of the year, such as college students, armed forces personnel, people in a nursing home, mental hospital, jail, prison, detention center, etc., or people visiting who usually live and sleep somewhere else. These people will be counted in other ways. Then, list the name of each person living or staying at this address. To add more people, select the button labeled Add Another Person. We do not want to miss any people staying at this address on April 1st. If you forgot to include anyone who stays here, choose Yes and enter those names. Otherwise, choose No. Now you're ready for the next two questions about the home at this address. On April 1st, will the house, apartment, or mobile home at this address be owned by you or someone in this household with a mortgage or loan, including home equity loans, owned by you or someone in this household free and clear without a mortgage or loan, rented, or occupied without payment of rent? Then, select the names of the owners or renters of this house, apartment, or mobile home. Next, we ask some questions about each person you listed earlier. First, we ask if the person is male or female. We also ask you to enter the month, day, and year this person was born. Make sure that the age that appears is correct as of April 1st, 2020. Next, we ask about Hispanic origin and race. Please answer both this and the next question. Select whether this person is not of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, Mexican, Mexican-American, or Chicano, Puerto Rican, Cuban, or another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. If you selected the last response, enter more details in the box below. Next, we ask about race. Select one or more checkboxes: white, black or African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Chinese, Filipino, Asian Indian, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, other Asian, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Chamorro, other Pacific Islander, or some other race. Enter detailed origins in the boxes that look like this. Additional people will also see this question: how is this person related to the reference person? Select opposite sex husband, wife, or spouse, opposite sex unmarried partner, same sex husband, wife, or spouse, same sex unmarried partner, biological son or daughter, adopted son or daughter, stepson or stepdaughter, brother or sister, father or mother, grandchild, parent-in-law, son-in-law or daughter-in-law, other relative, roommate or housemate, foster child, or other non-relative. We're almost finished. Some people live or stay in more than one place, and we need to make sure everyone is only counted once. Select the name of anyone who usually lives or stays somewhere else. Otherwise, choose none of the above. If a person does usually live or stay somewhere else, select the reason why from the following: to be with a parent, grandparent, or other person, to attend college, for a military assignment, to be closer to a job or business, in a nursing home or group home, in a jail or prison, at a seasonal or second residence, or for another reason. Great job! You are now ready to send your responses. Select Submit Questionnaire to complete the 2020 census. You will see a confirmation page with your address and today's date. That's it. You have completed the 2020 census online. Thank you. You may now close the web browser. To share this video or similar videos in other languages, please visit 2020census.gov/languages.
So the important thing to know, if you don't go online and do this, it's, very few questions. There will be people coming to your house and knocking on your door to ask you these questions so they can fill it out for you. Right now, Tulalip is at 61% that have already participated. We need everybody to participate. Please be counted. Help Tulalip get counted in this census. We have a presidential election coming up in November. It's so extremely important that you participate. We have had our governmental affairs staff assist us in getting the information out on the people that we endorse for senators, state representatives, all the way up. These are elected officials that work well with the tribe and that have assisted us in many of our projects. So it's very important that we keep those relations and we keep them in the positions that they are to assist us and other tribes throughout Washington State and throughout the country. If you haven't registered to vote, we're going to show you how. It's very simple. It's a few questions, and it's so important. Have your vote count. We need to shape the future with our votes and vote people in that have our same values, our same, the things that are important to us. So please get out and vote, and that includes all of you that just turned 18. A couple of weeks ago, we had a board strategic planning retreat where we started to go over a few of our items. First of all, I'd like to share with you our vision, mission, and core values. Our vision: to cultivate and preserve the Indian way of life while providing equitable services and opportunities for our members. Our mission: together we create a healthy and culturally vibrant community while exercising our sovereignty and protecting our treaty rights. Our core values are to be humble and serve one another, treat everyone with respect, to have personable accountability, integrity, be true to your word, and lead by example. Some of our priorities that we talked about are the Education and Distance Learning Plan, the General Council COVID option plans, and also the dual diagnosis facility on where we will locate it that is part of our tax compact obligation. We've talked about the housing and roads, on how we need to provide more housing for our membership and to improve our road systems along with our sewer and water, all of the infrastructures. The other thing that we talked about was economic development with our Tulalip Federal Corporation on how we will diversify income. We know that we can't just count on gaming income anymore. We have to diversify to make sure that we can provide for our tribe. We talked briefly about solar energy and about the car wash that Quilceda Village is planning to build up near the Chevron gas station on 116th. So these were just a few of our priorities. With these meetings will be continued. We will block out time so we can address our issues and make sure that we're moving forward in a positive way to get things accomplished. And it's all about setting the teams. And we utilize tribal governmental employees, Quilceda Village employees, and on several of these projects to determine what is the best viable project for our best return on our funds spent. So we look forward to moving ahead and continually to work for providing good projects that will provide the income that we need for our tribe. Thank you for joining me, and please remember to get out and vote. The census deadline is at the end of September, so that needs to be done within the next month. So please get out and vote. Tigwitseed.